Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a thriller mystery film, Ready or Not. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins in 1989 inside the Le Damas mansion where two young siblings, Daniel and Alex, run around while being followed by a man. Daniel hides Alex in a closet just in time before the new husband of their Aunt Helene shows up. He pleads with Daniel to help him as he has been wounded and is being hunted. But instead, the little boy alerts the rest of the family of his presence. Helene's new husband tries to escape in panic, but the family members begin showing up and corner him. They wear creepy masks and black robes, and Helene attempts to stop her family from killing her new husband, but they drag him into a room to his grisly fate. Daniel remains calm as he watches them. 30 years later, Alex is getting married to Grace, a gorgeous woman who's nervous yet excited to join his family, whom she claims is richer than God because of their family's gaming dominion. Even Alex thinks his family is horrible, especially since he and Grace violated the 3-year courtship rule tradition. Daniel then comes in and fetches the couple. Alex gives Grace a way out, but she's determined to be a Le Damas. The couple goes for a photo shoot with some of Alex's family before the wedding. Daniel's wife, who only married him for the money, shares the same feeling with her father-in-law, Tony, who is straightforward about his disapproval of Grace. However, they're nothing compared to a now old Helene, who shoots her a death glare. Unlike them, Alex and Daniel's mother, Becky, is more approving and welcoming to Grace. Moments later, Alex and Grace finally tie the knot, and while they're getting intimate, Helene interrupts them. She reminds Alex he needs to join the family for something. As Helene leaves, Alex explains to Grace that as per tradition, with every new addition to the Le Damas family, the new member must play a game with the family members at midnight. Alex adds that it's a kind of initiation since they get their money from games, and the new member doesn't need to win. They just have to play. Although it's ridiculous, Grace will do anything for Alex's family to accept her as the new member of Le Damas. The newlyweds reunite with the family downstairs, where Grace meets Alex and Daniel's sister, Emily. She comes with her husband, Fitch, and her 2 boys. Tony takes the family into the room, exclusive only to the Le Damas family members. One of the maids reads the boys a bedtime story as they gather around. Tony explains to Grace that the tradition was started by his great-grandfather, who made a deal with a mysterious benefactor, Mr. LaBelle. The great-grandfather met Mr. LaBelle on a ship where he was once a merchant seaman, and they soon developed a friendship as they both loved playing games. Mr. LaBelle granted the great-grandfather and his future generations their wealth and a special box, but the great-grandfather had to give his part of the bargain. The family passes the box to Grace, and when she draws a card of hide and seek, silence suddenly fills the room. Some family members try hiding their worries. Before the game, Tony instructs Grace to hide until dawn to win and wishes her good luck. As she leaves to hide, Tony places a disc on the phonograph before joining the rest and arming themselves. Everyone chooses guns except for Fitch and Becky, who get crossbows, while Helene holds an axe. Grace hides in a dumbwaiter lift as the Le Damases go off to find her, while Alex uses one of the secret doors to warn his new wife. Not long after, Grace leaves the dumbwaiter lift and wanders around the halls, while the maid panics as she has fallen asleep and the boy has left his bed. As the maid looks for him, Alex grabs Grace into a room and hides beside the bed. The maid walks to leave the room after hearing some noises, but then by mistake, Emily shoots her in the face with a shotgun, blowing up her head. Emily calls the family cheerily, thinking she shot Grace, but then she realizes her mistake. Helene and Tony help each other drag the maid's body out of the room, while Grace sits there beside her husband in horror at what she just witnessed, thinking that it's not a hormone hide-and-seek game, it's for real. As they leave, Alex takes a shaken-up Grace into a secret door leading to the tunnel, where he reveals the truth. Hide and seek is a bad game among others, because for the Le Damases, they will die if they fail to find and kill the new addition to the family before sunrise. The Le Damases have a long list of people who died after refusing to play a game. Alex admits to keeping everything a secret until the wedding, because he knows she will leave him if he tells her. Alex promises to find a way to get her out safely, so he directs him to the service kitchen while he goes down to the security room to unlock the doors, as the mansion is on lockdown. She changes into her tennis shoes and tears off the bottom of her dress to move around easily. She starts to walk out, but then stops after seeing some of them carrying the maid's body. They immediately drop the body to incapacitate her, but then a high Emily appears and starts wildly firing at Grace, but she misses. Grace runs away while Tony yells at Emily angrily. She hides, but then Daniel finds her as he comes out of another secret room. However, Daniel doesn't care about the hunt, but he needs to call the others, so he gives Grace a 10-second head start before alerting everyone. As Grace runs to hide, Daniel yells to alert the others, and his wife is the first one to come. The wife immediately knows that Daniel has lost Grace, but couldn't care less. Daniel then changes the subject and goes on to insult his wife. Daniel reminds her about how she didn't blink when he told her about the sick family tradition. His wife rebuts, telling Daniel that she would rather be dead than lose all the richness and return to her miserable life. The others then come in to discuss another plan. Emily has lost her gun, so Fitch gives her his crossbow. But as soon as she holds it, she accidentally fires an arrow through the other maid that came in to tell Tony she saw Grace. Fitch takes his high wife out of the room, while Helene chops off the maid's head when she won't stop groaning. Becky then suggests using the cameras to find Grace, and the other agrees. But Helene is firmly against it, as it's a disrespect for the tradition. Becky stops the argument between Tony and Helene, and then instructs Tony and Daniel to turn on the cameras, while the rest fan out to find Alex and Grace. Meanwhile, Grace returns to the exclusive room, wears the ammo belt, and takes the rifle. She hides in the kitchen, while Alex tries to turn on the cameras and disable the locks on the doors and windows. The butler comes into the kitchen to make tea, but then he hears Grace loading her rifle. He continues making his tea, like he didn't hear her, but Alex successfully unlocks the doors and windows. As he checks it, Grace pulls the trigger on him. However, no gunshot is heard, and the butler tells her that the ammo and rifle are just for display. The butler takes the ammunition from her and advances toward her, but Grace smashes the teapot on his face and manages to escape him. After seeing his wife evade, Alex destroys the monitor just in time before Tony and Daniel barge into the control room. Tony attacks his son, so Alex fights back, but Daniel talks him down, only giving Tony a chance to knock Alex out. Daniel and Tony carry Alex's body out of the room, while Grace finds the last maid in the dumbwaiter lift. She claims not to know about the tradition, but then alerts the family and accidentally pushes the lift button, causing her to be crushed into mashed potato. Grace runs away to hide. Seconds later, the butler arrives and finds the maid's body caught by the dumbwaiter lift's door. Meanwhile, Tony and Daniel handcuff Alex in his bedroom to prevent him from helping Grace. The butler informs them about the third dead maid, pissing Tony off because Grace is taking them out one by one despite being outnumbered. Becky calms him down and goes out with Daniel to give him a minute. As they leave, Helene starts talking to him. At that same time, Grace is outside on the roof, listening to how Helene compares Alex to her old self, the time that her new husband picked the same game 30 years ago. Devastated is an underestimation of what Helene felt that night when her husband picked the game. But then she realized that she shouldn't have fought it. She should have killed her husband herself. And so, she believes that Alex will come to accept the same fate for his wife. However, Tony doesn't think that because Alex has always been the good son. Grace jumps from the roof, almost getting caught by Fitch, who sits by the window, looking through his phone. She runs away to the stable, where the boy follows her seconds later. Grace calms down, thinking they're scared, but then the boy pulls out a pistol, shooting a hole in her hand. As a response, Grace knocks him in the face with her other hand. A goat then startles her, causing her to fall into the goat pit, where she finds dead bodies of goats and unlucky Ledamaz family members. Grace reaches in disgust before climbing the ladder and reaches the top when it suddenly breaks under her feet. She's slowly losing grip, so she uses her wounded hand to grab the top, but then accidentally hurts herself with a nail. Grace endures the excruciating pain, pulls herself out, and bandages herself with her dress. She runs back outside, where Daniel's wife sees her and tries to kill her with the crossbow. However, she misses Grace and kills a bird instead, so she returns to the mansion, where she runs into the butler. She informs him about Grace before leaving to alert the others. Grace manages to get through the front gate, where she tries to get help from an approaching vehicle. However, the prick driver ignores her and drives away from her. Seconds later, the butler passes by and finds a piece of Grace's wedding dress on the fence. He promptly calls Tony and informs him about it before returning to search for Grace. As the call ends, a heated argument ensues as Tony's pissed about Daniel not caring about the consequences if they fail to find and kill Grace. Becky steps in, calms down Tony, and instructs Fitch and Daniel's wife to go after the butler as he might need their help. Daniel and Emily then are instructed to take the maids to the goat pit, as they do more harm than hunt. The siblings obey their mother's order, and while there, Daniel tells his sister that he's fed up with the family. But Emily is steadfast with the tradition, so her boys won't get hurt. Just then, the son wakes up and tells them about his encounter with Grace, making Emily proud. Meanwhile, the butler soon finds Grace, who tries to capture and maybe even kill her. So Grace fights back and strangles him with a piece of her dress before driving away with his car, unaware that he's only pretending to be dead and is still alive. As she drives, Grace talks to a customer service agent to call for help. However, the car was reported stolen, so the agent shuts down the car, leading to the butler finding Grace and tranquilizing her. He video calls the family as he drives back to the mansion and informs them that he has Grace. After that, he plays a piece of loud classical music on the radio, not noticing that Grace has woken up. The family, who still can see them through the video call, tries to warn the butler from Grace, but he's too busy celebrating his triumph. So Grace kicks him twice in the head, making him lose control and causing the car to roll into a field. Although upside down in the car, Grace survives and gets out, while the butler is finally dead. However, Daniel finds her. This time, he doesn't let her go, but instead knocks her out, as he realizes he can't let his family die just because of one woman. Tony then comes out from behind the tree and helps Daniel take Grace back to the mansion. Meanwhile, Becky goes to Alex's room and talks to him, saying that she believes that although he loves her, he will eventually stick to his family's wishes. However, Alex looks her straight in the eyes and firmly tells her that he will kill her himself if Grace dies. Alex then reveals that he left because he realized he would do anything if his family said it was okay. He did the things that aren't normal for a kid to do, and it scared him that all of it felt normal. So when he met Grace, who made him feel like he could be good, Alex knew that he would choose her over them, but Becky believes she knows him better than Grace. As thunder rumbles outside, the family, now wearing their robes, places Grace on the altar, ready to sacrifice her to Mr. LaBelle. They pass around a chalice and drink from it, while all recite in Latin. As Daniel takes the chalice last and Tony prepares to kill Grace, all of them, aside from Daniel, start violently puking blood one by one. Daniel, who has poisoned them, frees Grace. At that same time, Alex frees himself by grinding up the foot of the bed with a handcuff. Daniel explains to Grace that the poison he gave them is not enough to kill them. He tries to get Grace out, but his wife finds them, and knowing he's no longer on their side, she shoots her husband in the throat. Instead of running away, Grace fights Daniel's wife and takes the gun from her. As the bullets run out, Grace whips it on her, knocking her unconscious. She then goes to Daniel's side to help him, but he instructs her to go. As she runs into one of the rooms, Tommy finds her and tries to kill her himself. However, Grace is no longer scared, so she grabs the lantern and smashes his old face with it, knocking him out. After that, she tosses the lantern away before running again, causing the curtains to catch fire. Meanwhile, Alex finds his brother and tries to save him, but he's too late. At that same time, Grace faces Becky, who tries to strangle her to death. Grace pulls the tablecloth, grabs Mr. LaBelle's box, and bludgeons Becky to death with it. Alex then calls her attention, having witnessed how Grace killed his mom while cursing their family. He tries talking to her, but upon seeing the look on her face, Alex realizes she will never stay with him. So he turns on her and holds her captive before yelling at the others. Tony and Emily gasp in shock after seeing Becky's dead body, but Helding stops them from mourning as the sun has almost risen. They continue with the ritual by holding Grace themselves. Helding takes the lead on hailing Satan, but Grace claws Helding's hand, causing the dagger to go through her shoulder. She removes the dagger, gets off the table, and holds it toward them while screaming. They then see the light, and fear is evident in their eyes, even Alex. Helding immediately looks at the empty head seat and asks for Mr. LaBelle's forgiveness. As they recoil in horror from their impending death, nothing happens. Helding takes this chance and grabs the axe to kill Grace when she suddenly explodes into a bloody mess. The horror returns as the family realize that they're going to die as they fail to kill Grace. Mr. LaBelle turns on the phonograph before they explode into a bloody mess one by one, and Grace laughs at them as this happens. Alex tries to weasel his way back to Grace by asking for forgiveness, but she hands him the wedding ring and says she wants a divorce just in time before he explodes into a hormone mess. Grace then sees the spirit of Mr. LaBelle, the demon or the devil himself if not, sitting at the empty head seat, nodding to her approvingly. The fire from the curtain spreads around, and Grace exits the burning mansion, now covered with blood, especially her wedding dress. She sits on the steps to smoke a cigarette just as the police and ambulance arrive. The film ends with an officer asking Grace what happened, to which she simply replies, "In-laws." This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.